Well, hey there, creators. Niamh here with another bullet journal video. That was a smooth entry. What I'm doing for the cover page of my bullet journal for August is I'm using some of my watercolors and some of my new inks that my Dr. P.H. Martin inks, mostly the gold ink that I just got, but I wanted to put a base of the watercolor down first, and the reason why it's not absorbing into the paper is because I decided to try it on Yupo paper just to experiment. This was basically one giant experiment. So there's lots of moments where I'm kind of going back and forth, where I don't quite like this and I'm wasting some of my watercolor a little bit. But I mean, in the end, I like how it turned out, but it was just a fun little thing that I was just playing with, So this month for my August bullet journal, and I know I am super late with this. It has been difficult trying to get this done and out. I was done with the bullet journal before August started, but barely. It was like the last day of July or the first day of August that I actually finished. Getting the video edited, getting pictures of the items and all that, it took way too long. And as there was a bit of a jump in my art here, and that's just because I was testing things out. I was using some watercolor to draw some lines on it, and now I'm sprinkling some water on there, thinking that might be a cool effect, but it kind of worked a little bit, but not really. A lot of this beginning part is really just me fiddling around with my watercolors on this Yupo, just trying to find something that works. But anyway, so it took me a long while to get this video out. Once I realized I was not going to have this out before August started, I was really hoping I would have it out on Friday, which is my Friday videos. Here I am putting the gold ink in there, and I want to do much of the feather part of this in the gold ink. So the theme this month is I wanted to go with a steampunk theme, so something with a lot of gears, and then it kind of evolved into a lot of feathers, so kind of a feather and kind of steampunky look, and basically just a lot of experimenting. So it was just a fun thing to do, just playing around with this gold ink. Well, anyway, so I wanted to have this out on Friday. So that was the 3rd, August 3rd. But we ended up spending hardly any time at our house because I had to, it was like the one day I could finally take the kids out to go swimming. And so we went swimming at a neighbor's house, and we were there for several hours. And during the hours that I normally do, like my editing and my voiceover and stuff, so I really didn't have time at all on Friday to get this done. And then on Saturday, it was my daughter's birthday party, so I couldn't do anything on Saturday. And then we ended up having a lot to do on Sunday as well. So, God, I could not get this out. And it was very frustrating because this is being a bullet journal, you want to try to get these out before the month starts, because these are a month by month sort of thing. And so that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to get it out before the month started, but it just wasn't happening this week. And I'm hoping that doing these bullet journals might help me get back on track with my uploads, because I've had a lot of weeks like this, and part of the issue has sort of been some health issues going on. I've been having to I had my yearly checkup, and which I hadn't done in like 4 years. So, and there were some problems that I had 4 years ago that I still have. So I've been really anxious about that and really worried about my health, unnecessarily, because it's not that big of a deal. But it's something I've been really worried about, and I definitely, oh, there's another big jump there. Basically, it was more fiddling around, and finally I finished the feather in a way that I liked it, and I decided to put these gears on top and try to see if I could go around with the gold ink stuff to kind of, use the gears as a mask and kind of a negative space sort of thing. And I was using my heat gun on there, but I was trying to be very, very light with it because Yupo is basically plastic, so I don't want to use the heat gun too long on a spot, and it's probably, a bad idea to use it at all on Yupo paper because it is plastic. So, I don't want to melt it, but I was very, very gentle and only slightly had the thing on there. But yeah, but I probably wouldn't recommend using a heat gun on Yupo paper because it probably will melt if you're not careful. So, but like I said, this has been a big experiment. Well, anyway, so back to my health issue. Here's the finished piece. Yeah, I liked how it turned out. Now I'm working on the bullet journal itself. So the health issue, yeah, so I have to make some lifestyle changes. I'm going to change up my diet a little bit. It's recommended that I go on a pescatarian diet, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go that route, and I'm happy to go that route. I love fish. And I'm also really, really trying to exercise more. Yeah, because that's part of what's going to help me with some of the health issues that I'm having. So, and I don't want to go into detail on that because everyone's going to have their opinions on what the right thing to do is and what the wrong, etc. And I'm just going to go by what's recommended by my doctor and all that. And so I've been really worried about that until I went to my doctor's appointment, and he calmed me down a bit. And yes, I'm being a little bit ridiculous, and I'm okay, But it's just I've been having those on and off health issues this month, and really this month has been crazy with health issues. I've never had this much issue with my health, and then this year all of a sudden I've having to go to the ER, having to go to urgent care, and then all the doctor stuff that I've just been really anxious about my health, and I don't want to be. And yeah, so a part of these bullet journals is I'm hoping to, help me keep track of certain health things, like maybe, I've started exercising a lot lately, and I want to keep that going, and I need to keep it going. So the exercise trackers has really been helpful in these bullet journals. Yeah, and what I'm doing this page is I'm making these gears that are basically my chore trackers, and yeah, because I what I like about these journal and these bullet journals. Some people like super, super simple bullet journals, and some people like really, really elaborate bullet journals and things like that. I tend to be on the side where I like the elaborate. I like the I'm an artist, so I like all the artistic part of it. And to be honest, I feel like that's more of my inspiration for doing these at all, because I've known about bullet journals for a long time, but they've never really appealed to me because I don't know how well I would keep up with them. And it's been, that's part of the experiment here, is how well can I keep up with them. And sometimes I can and sometimes I can't. What actually got me to really start a bullet journal was watching a lot of people's really artistic ones. And I know some people are really against those artistic bullet journals because they're like, oh, you're caring more about the art of it, or making a really impressive bullet journal, and you care less about the actual functionality and blah blah blah. And for me, it's like, that's kind of a little bit true, sure, and I'm okay with that. I do like the artistic part of it, and maybe mine isn't really completely a bullet journal. Yeah, so here I'm adding the fold out calendar, the same thing I did last month, because I actually really liked that. That worked really, really well. But yeah, I am trying to use the bullet journal, or the thing as it is. I'm trying to use it for its purpose. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it is that I like to do arts and crafts, and seeing people's artistic bullet journals had inspired me to actually start doing my own bullet journal. And maybe it will just be me exercising my artistic chops, and has less to do with keeping track of my important dates or whatever. That's what I've got on this. And yeah, maybe it will turn into me actually using it for the function that it's intended for. So this page is actually my mood tracker, and since I want this to be gears and feather theme, I figured the perfect thing for a mood tracker is just one giant gear with a bunch of spokes on it. And I ended up putting 24 spokes on that, so I had to add circles in the middle to fill out the rest of the days. And yeah, and the colors, and those were the colors of this month. The kind of the aqua blue, purple, kind of a magenta color, and brown. And yeah, and I've been using the metallic ones a lot too. Yeah, and then this page is that's my exercise tracker. That's what I do. And that was actually very helpful for me last month, so I wanted to continue that. And here I am. I'm using a lot of inks, a lot of my dye-based inks, and those gears as templates, and just kind of roughening up a lot of areas, tracing those gears, just put some artwork. I'm not going to draw on every page, and I thought using those gear embellishments as yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I used it for. Just stencil. That's the word I was looking for. And here I ended up making a pouch for for that last page, the weekly spread. Because like I said, I've been trying to do a little less this month than I did last month, because last month I did too many pages, too much was going on, and too much of a waste of paper. So this month I've really tried to consolidate everything. So I put those pockets at the end, just in case there's anything I want to add, I can just tuck it in those pockets. And this, I accidentally made that thing an inch smaller than I needed it to be, so I had to add in that little bit at the top there. But oh well, things like that happen. So now I'm adding in the washi tape on each of the edges, just to give that nice finishing touch, last little artistic bit. And the weekly spread, I added in these feathers, to continue the feather theme. Yeah, and we're coming up near the end of this piece. I like how this turned out. And and the last little bit, which is coming up soon, is when I actually glue on that first page onto the last page of my previous. Here it is. I'm gluing on the last page from last month onto this page, because what I'm going to do at the end of all this is I'm going to have one big book. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. All right, so this was my journal for last month, for July, and I had my daily schedule, my weekly schedule, my calendar here. Hopefully this is all in frame. So I had that pull-out calendar so that I could see each page afterward, notes and stuff, and Chores, I didn't really use much, but I would like to, so I've kept that in the next month. Same with habit. I was filling out my water thing. I didn't really fill out my teeth care thing, but I would like to. And I used the mood tracker, so I will be continuing that. I definitely used my exercise tracker, so I'm definitely continuing that. I didn't use this page basically at all. I like wrote a couple things, but I'm kind of scrapping this for next month at least. I would like to use a money tracker, but yeah, it just didn't really work last month. Yeah, so, and I did use my Niamh-Creates thing, but I hardly used my other channel pages. So, I mean, this one I did not even touch. So, for the next month, I decided to just scrap that almost completely and just have 2 pages for my YouTube channels instead of having a separate double page for each one. So yeah, and then the week by week, I did use that sort of on and off, and I sort of used the meal planning thing, but not very well. So I'm not doing the meal planning little section on the next one, but yeah. So, and here, let me put this back in. So here is August. I went with a feathers and kind of a steampunk or gears sort of theme. And then we have, I haven't quite filled out the daily and weekly schedule yet, but I will be doing that. So I have got the calendar there. I've got a brain dump, important dates, notes, and to do. And I will start filling out some stuff in the calendar soon. So my chores, I have gears and cogs and stuff, and a pipe for the weekly chores. The recycling and the separating laundry are my weekly chores. Basically, I'm filling in each little like circle or thing, spoke, or something like that for the chores that I'm doing. For my habits, I'm filling in this steampunk hat with the blue for each square for my waters. I have a little meditation calendar here and a teeth care calendar here, and I will be coloring those in. So the next page, I have my exercise, since I definitely wanted to keep that going. And my mood tracker, I just did one giant gear, and I'm basically coloring in each spoke and the circles here, and then the center part will be the last day. And then social media, instead of having a double page for each channel that I have, I instead have one big brain dump / ideas section here, and then down here I have these like cogs, sort of colorful cogs, that I used a white gel pen to write NC for Niamh-Creates, and L for Niamh Learns, RC for Rainbow Cauldron, NG for Niamh Games, FB for Facebook, IG for Instagram, PT for Patreon. And basically at the end of the month, I will write in what my total followers / subscribers are. And just to keep that in mind. And then over here, instead of having, upload section for each page, I just have one long upload section, one for each day here. And if I upload anything, or if I plan to upload, then I'll write that in here, and check it off or move it, etc. So, and then the last page is my weekly spread. So people sort of do their weekly spreads a little differently than I do, I think, because I'm super new to bullet journaling. So I've been doing my way of doing things very differently. And one of the things that I do is I start my week on Sunday, whereas everyone else seems to start theirs on Monday, and that works for them. That's great, but for me, my brain just, I can't, I automatically think of this category as Sunday, so I can't really see the week starting on Monday, even though I know a lot of cultures do it that way. But you know, I don't. So I think of the week starting on Sunday. So that's how I do, you know, whatever works for you is basically what I think of for these bullet journal things. And the week starting on Sunday is definitely what works for me. And so for these things, I just have a thing for each week instead of having a whole section where it's, you know, 7 days in that week, and then they have a separate double page for each week. Yeah, I can't do that because that's just going to be a big waste of paper for me. So I just have one section for each week, and I'll write what I need to do that week. And these also have little pockets, so if I have anything that I would like to keep or, you know, remember important papers or something, I can fold it and stuff it in these. So that is it for August. September, I will, you know, basically be doing the exact same thing I did here, gluing the last page of the previous month to the first page of the next month, and I'll be doing that for September as well. And basically this is going to be a 6-month book, and when I'm all done, I will put a cover on, and then I'll have this kind of a keepsake planner book, you know, something I can look through and maybe get ideas for future bullet journals if I continue doing them. So all right, so thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you later, and again, I'm so sorry that I haven't really been consistent with my videos. I'm hoping that, you know, doing some of this bullet journal stuff will help me stay on track with that. So I will see you guys next time, and see you later. Later, creators. Bye.